Hey guys, welcome to a bonus Tuesday video. Today we're gonna compare the Arctic MX-4, this is thermal paste. I've been using this for many years, with this product here, the Innovation Cooling IC Graphite thermal pad. So the idea is instead of using thermal paste, you put this between the processor and the cooler. I got quite a few comments about trying out such a product, and for the channel this makes a lot of sense. I put together at least one system a week for a video, so I go through a lot of thermal paste. Plus I use cleaning products like alcohol and wipes, and yeah, that all adds up, not just in terms of money, but especially in terms of time and hassle. These pads come in two sizes, 30x30 and 40x40. I got the 30x30. They're quite affordable, 15 Australian dollars on Amazon, so that's around 10 US dollars. I will mention it early on because otherwise I will get a ton of comments. There's another product on the market, the Thermal Grizzly Carbon-out, but it's a lot more expensive. For this small pad, you're looking at 40 Australian dollars, and for the larger one, 65. Now I had a look at some YouTube reviews of this Thermal Grizzly Carbon-out, and if you watch those videos, the cooling performance is almost identical between the thermal pad and the thermal paste, and I'm a little bit skeptical, so I want to find out for myself what the performance is like. The processor we're using is a Ryzen 1600, and we're using the Blender benchmark, which runs for around half an hour and does a really good job at heating up the processor. We have two processor coolers. The first one is a cheap model from AliExpress. Both are top-down models. This one has 4 heat pipes and the fan speed is 2000 RPM. This one has a high fan speed, runs at 3000. This is an old AMD boxed cooler for a Phantom 2 processor with a 125 watt rating. So the Blender benchmark took around half an hour to complete. With the Arctic MX-4, I saw temperatures of 60 degrees with the AliExpress cooler, and the thermal pad had a temperature of 66 degrees. So it was 6 degrees warmer. The AMD box cooler also gave me 60 degrees with the Arctic MX-4 cooling paste. So that's actually a good showing for the cheap cooler from AliExpress. And having a look at the thermal pad, I saw 63 degrees. So in terms of temperature, 3 degrees warmer. So yeah, I could measure a difference, 6 degrees warmer on the AliExpress cooler and 3 degrees warmer on the AMD boxed cooler. Why the difference? Well, if we look at the processor coolers, this one has an all copper base. This one doesn't. It's got a mix of aluminium and copper with the heat pipes. Also, the finish is a lot smoother on the box cooler, whereas here, and I will take some photos, here it's a lot rougher, and that's really where the thermal paste shines. If you have a CPU cooler that's not really smooth, the thermal paste does a better job at filling those gaps, and I believe this is what we're seeing in this test. Still, all the temperatures I'm seeing are perfectly fine. Blender is known to drive the temperatures up, and for gaming you will likely never see these temperatures. So I'm actually quite pleased with the performance. So a delta of 3 to 6 degrees is actually not that bad. Such a thermal pad does conduct electricity, so you have to be a little bit careful, especially when the machine is running. Don't just drop it onto the motherboard, it can short things out. But otherwise it's really straightforward. You just place it on here and then mount the CPU cooler. So yeah, that's definitely a plus. And if your CPU cooler and your CPUs are already cleaned, then yeah, you don't need to muck around with thermal paste. You don't need to use wipes or alcohol. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to testing more long term. Another benefit that is often mentioned is that these thermal pads are reusable, but that is something I want to find out for myself. How long are they gonna last? I mean, I do at least 50 builds a year, so that's reinstalling CPU coolers 50 to 100 times a year. So I think, yeah, that's a really good test situation. So I think I will test this thermal pad in projects going forward, and after, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, 50 usages of this thermal pad, I might do another video and let you know how it performed. Also, I have since ordered the larger pad, 40 by 40. You might have noticed that this pad doesn't quite cover the processor area. I believe that's not a big deal because neither does the thermal paste. At least if you put like a little blob in the center, which I do, it spreads out into a circle and doesn't cover the corners. So I don't think that's going to make much of a difference, but that is definitely something we will find out. So guys, I hope you found this video useful. There's really not much more to talk about. It's fairly straightforward. Instead of thermal paste, you put the pad between the processor and the cooler. Long-term experience is what I'm after. And yep, that's a commitment to you guys that I will be using this in future projects. And then in half a year or so, I'll report back and let you know if this is worth investing or not. I'm hoping it turns out well because I can already see it saves me a lot of time in cleaning and mucking around with thermal paste. So yeah, I'm hoping that this turns out well. Also, I will put a link down below for the CPU cooler. Seems to do a fine job at cooling the Ryzen 1600. It's definitely not a high performance cooler, but if you like a top-down cooler with heat pipes and it's got some RGB lighting going on as well, maybe that is something of interest. And any questions, leave them down below. I can feed that back into a future video. And yeah, let me know, have you got any experience with using these thermal pads and how does it compare to your experience of using thermal paste? And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Our regular video is on Friday, but every now and then there's a bonus video on Tuesday, just like this one. So I see you soon. Thanks for watching.